Right, so we've stamped the bottom bracket. Now the next thing I'm going to do is set up my frame building jig with the various angles and dimensions that I need to assemble the frame. I'll take you around and show you the jig and how it works, and then I'll set it up accordingly. So this is my jig. Swivel it round and turn it round the right way up. So first of all, this is the seat tube locator. So the seat tube angles are all marked along here. I don't know whether you can see them very well, but they're basically marked all the way along there. Any angle I want, just line up the line at the top, little top thing at the little mark at the top with whichever angle I want the seat tube. So that's the seat tube, and there's I'll have different diameter inserts to locate different diameter seat tubes on here. On the front, this is the front, so that the head tube will fit between these two pieces here. It's gone a bit rusty because of all the brazing. That'll clean off though. So basically I've set the head tube up between these two dollies here, and then the head angle I can set according to what I want, anything from 78 degrees up the top here, and it goes right down to 60 something or other down the bottom. So that will twist around, and I can set the head angle to whatever I want. This bit down here, that is the rake that I'm going to put on a fork. So I set the rake on here, and then this little bit here is all locked up at the moment. See if I can undo it. Slide that along, and then this will give me the drop for the bottom bracket, from the wheel spindles to the bottom bracket. So this represents a wheel spindle. So we've got the rake, the wheel spindle height, and then I measure from the bottom here to the bottom of the head tube, and that will give me a dimension for the length of the fork, and it gives us the height of the head tube from the wheel spindle. So that's basically it. Oh, I forgot the bottom bracket. The bottom bracket will fit on here, which is quite straightforward. I'll just undo that. I'll put that on now actually. That slides off, and then get the bottom bracket the right way round. That goes that way round. So put the bottom bracket on. That bounce on there. Turn that round with the numbers underneath. So that fits that on. Then there's the rear. The axle fits on this assembly at the back here. These got these two raised arms, and I have a bar which goes right the way through here, which supports the axle, and then I've got on here dimensions marked, which comes from this front face, for the dimension from the centre of the axle to the centre of the bottom bracket. So I've got dimensions for that, and then also I can adjust the height of the bottom bracket to the height of the axle to the bottom bracket by loosening these two screws, and the whole thing rises and falls. So I'm going to now set up that and get that ready for the next stage. So now I've set the jig up according to the dimensions on my drawing, which I'll go through. So the head angle, which is 74 degrees, that is set on here. So there's 75, and the pin's one round, and it's a vernier, so it won't go right in there, it goes in that one. So that's 74 degrees, that's set at 74 degrees. The length from the bottom bracket to the centre point here is 591 millimeters, 591 and a half. I've set that. That's basically a raw dimension that I've got. I've got these dimensions on here, so it's 500 there, and then I just have to measure up to the centre of this bar from there. So that's set now. I've already set the height and the rake. The spindle, that's the spindle there. I've got a dimension from this face in here up to the bottom of the head tube. The head tube, by the way, I've actually fitted in now. I've cut that to length and fitted it in, and I just measure up from the bottom. Oops, a rule in there. Just measure up from the bottom to the bottom of the head tube, which is 397, which should be on, there it is, 397 there. So that's that side. The angle of the seat tube on the drawing is 74.69. Well, 74 and a half is near enough, and that's what we've got on here. It's 75, and that's 74 there. So 74 and a half, roughly in the middle. So that's set. I've also set the axle setback, which is 420 mil, 410, 20. That's set. And then I've also got the height set for the rear axle, from the bottom bracket to the centre of the axle, which is marked off on this rule at the bottom here, and it's 107 mil, which matches the front, which is this dimension in here, 107, 107. So that's basically the jig set up, and as I say, I've cut the head tube, and the next job will be to start cutting the actual main tubes. I'll start off with the seat tube, which will go between the bottom bracket and here. It has to be mitered to fit the radius of the bottom bracket. So I'll do that on the milling machine, and I'll show you the setup for that.